My CO wife had no idea. Just as she was giving the title of Mr. Anderson to her first love, I had already faked my death, taken our son, and disappeared. Yet, she suddenly brought me up at a family dinner. We've been giving each other the silent treatment for so long, he must have cooled off by now, right? It's time for our family to make up. Her first love chimed in. Besides, your baby isn't even a month old. He needs you. How could he stay truly angry? Chloe then asked, the holidays are almost here. Where is he? The butler glanced at the seat now occupied by her first love, his face etched with grief. Sir and the young master, he said, passed away 3 days ago. At his words, everyone watched as the ever-composed Chloe Anderson, her eyes bloodshot, bolted from the room. Everyone in Chicago knew I was utterly devoted to Chloe, that I'd loved her for 8 years and relentlessly pursued her until she married me. What they didn't know was that when Chloe was 5, she gave me her mother's ring and promised to marry me when we grew up. At 15, Chloe tattooed our initials over her heart, her voice full of conviction. Ethan, I want to love you every day, forever and ever. At 18, Chloe risked her life, running into a burning building to save me. A falling beam struck her head, and she needed emergency surgery. The doctors warned of possible amnesia. Before they took her in, Chloe removed the silver locket she'd worn since childhood and placed it around my neck. Ethan, not even death can keep us apart, let alone a little memory loss. Wait for me. I will remember you. Wear this locket and never take it off. It's how we'll find each other again. When Chloe woke up, she'd forgotten everything before the age of 16. She mistook Liam Carter, who'd had a secret crush on her, for her boyfriend. For 8 years, I tried everything to help her remember, but nothing worked. Her father's insistence that she marry me only made Chloe despise me more. Once, after a car accident nearly killed me, Chloe's words were, "Don't call me unless Ethan Grant is dead. That'll free up the Mr. Anderson title for Liam." That single sentence extinguished the last spark of love I had for her. From that moment on, all I wanted was to vanish from her world forever. Mr. Grant, this is the disappearance service you ordered. The scheduled time of death is in 3 days, during your son's 1-month celebration. The method will be a staged car accident into the river. The deceased will be listed as you and your son. Please confirm. I gently patted the sleeping infant in my arms and signed the documents without hesitation. After years of unrequited love, today was the day I was finally letting go. As I left the office, the massive screen in the shopping center was playing an interview with Chloe on a loop. She was holding hands with Liam Carter, her eyes filled with a tenderness she never showed me. Liam's son is only 2, and he needs a mother's love right now, Chloe said to the reporter. So we have no plans for children of our own at the moment. I don't want to upset him. Her answer sent the crowd of onlookers into a frenzy. Wow, the Ice Queen CEO ignores her own son but dotes on her first love's child. That's some serious devotion, someone in the crowd remarked. I'm so jealous. He's the one she fell for when she was 16. I've never seen a man as shameless as Ethan Grant, another person sneered. She and Liam are perfect for each other. He knows Chloe only loves Liam, but he still clings to the Mr. Anderson title. What a creep. Their cruel words were like daggers, piercing my heart until I could barely breathe. My son's cries broke through my haze of pain. Ignoring the crowd, I hurried into the mall, searching for a nursing room. As luck would have it, I ran right into Chloe on the ground floor. She was in a toy store, helping Liam's son pick out a toy gun. She was patiently browsing, her usually stern face lit up with a smile. The moment she saw me, that smile vanished. Besides stalking me all over the city and begging me to come home, can't you do anything useful with your day? She asked, her voice dripping with ice. Come on, Chloe, Liam said, draping his arm around her possessively. Ethan's with the baby. He's probably feeling vulnerable and needs some support. Since he came all this way to find you, just go home with him for today. Your son's 1-month celebration is coming up, and it's not right that you've never even held him. Ethan's child is just a tool to appease my father. He's not worthy of being held by me, Chloe said, then affectionately pinched Liam's cheek. Even though he's not mine, I'm much happier holding your son. Our confrontation drew a crowd of onlookers who began to whisper among themselves. Oh my God, isn't that Chloe Anderson and her husband? One person murmured. That's her own baby, though. What she just said was incredibly harsh. And after all he did for her, another added. Ethan took care of her day and night for the 3 years she was blind. Listening to her now, you'd think she wanted him dead. The crowd was always fickle. Some insulted me, others defended me. I was used to it. I stared at the disgust on Chloe's face, my eyes burning with unshed tears. She'd forgotten running into that fire for me. She'd forgotten defying everyone to donate her bone marrow when I had leukemia. She'd forgotten her promise to love me every day, forever. The one still trapped by those sweet memories wasn't Chloe. It was me. But in 3 days, I would be gone from her world for good. My son's cries grew more frantic, and my anxiety spiked. I shoved Liam out of my way and rushed to the nursing room at the end of the hall. From outside, I heard a thud and a cry of pain. I ignored it, focusing on feeding my son. My phone started ringing incessantly. It was Chloe. I shut it off. Once my son was calm, I stepped out of the nursing room. Chloe was on a bench, cradling Liam in her arms. He had a bandage on his forehead and was crying. "Chloe, please don't blame Ethan," he sobbed. "He was just worried about the baby when he pushed me. He definitely didn't mean to scar my face. He knows your acting career depends on your looks, and he still pushed you. He's malicious." Chloe's face was like stone. She glared at me and commanded, "Ethan, get over here and apologize to him." "No, it's okay," Liam said, but his eyes were gleaming with triumph. I looked at him, my face a blank mask, and took off the silver locket from around my neck. "I was out of line today," I said, holding it out to him. "Take this as my apology." At my words, a flicker of confusion crossed Chloe's face. Liam looked shocked, putting on a show of refusal. "Ethan, I can't possibly take this. It's your most precious possession. Please put it back on." "My face is fine, really." "What game are you playing now, Ethan?" Chloe asked, frowning as she pushed down a sudden feeling of unease. "The last time I told you to give that locket to Liam, you threw a fit and said you'd rather die. Why the sudden change of heart?" "I'm not playing games. I just don't want it anymore," I said flatly, turning to leave with my son. She blocked my path. "Don't think this little reverse psychology trick will make me go home with you. Are you that desperate? In your dreams." I placed the locket in her hand without a single glance and walked away. In 3 days, I would be gone from her life forever. Why would I care about a keepsake from her? Why would I care if she ever came home again? Chloe had a nagging feeling that something about me had changed, but she couldn't put her finger on it. She carefully polished the locket and handed it to Liam. "This is my most precious good luck charm," she said. "I want you to have it." "Chloe, I think Ethan is really upset. You should probably go after him," Liam urged softly. "Whether he's upset or not has nothing to do with me," she replied. "Let's go." The clock on the wall struck midnight, and Chloe still wasn't home. In the past, I would have frantically called all her friends, tracking her down and begging her to come home. After 2 major head surgeries, she wasn't supposed to stay up late. Now, I was focused on getting rid of everything, unwilling to waste another second on someone who no longer mattered. I had our housekeeper, Maria, help me pack up all the gifts I'd given Chloe over the years. It filled 5 large boxes, watches and art worth hundreds of thousands, 136 custom suits, and the 238 love letters Chloe had once written to me. I had once hoped these tokens of my burning love could rekindle her feelings and her memories. I never knew that back then, my college roommate, Liam, had deliberately sabotaged me, delaying my visit to Chloe at the hospital. By the time I finally arrived, clutching the box of letters, Chloe was awake and holding Liam's hand. Her eyes were full of adoration. "Liam," she said, "I'll take care of you for the rest of my life. I'm going to make you a star." I was devastated. I tried to show her the letters and the locket to prove who I was, but all I received was her cold scorn. "You are a truly despicable, scheming man. How dare you take the letters I wrote to Liam and replace his name with yours? You even got a matching tattoo and stole the locket I gave him? You have no shame." The woman who had once loved me so deeply now believed only Liam's lies, leaving nothing but disgust for me. No matter how her friends tried to explain the truth, Chloe was adamant that I was a manipulative usurper. She even threatened to end their friendships if they ever defended me again. Thinking of the last 8 years, the hopeless waiting, her constant ridicule, tears blurred my vision. If she had truly loved me, how could her body hold no memory of my touch? How could she mistake someone else for me? How could she hurt me so deeply, without an ounce of trust? In the end, it was simple. She just didn't love me enough. I swallowed the bitterness in my throat, pulled the wedding ring from my finger, and tossed it in the trash. Then I doused the boxes of memories with gasoline. Maria, our housekeeper, fished the ring from the bin, her voice frantic. "Sir, you can't. This is the ring she carved with lilies for you when she was 16. And all these gifts, these letters, they were her most treasured possessions. If you burn them, it will destroy her. Please just give her a little more time. She loves you so much, she's bound to remember. It doesn't matter if she remembers or not. I don't want her anymore," I said, and tossed the lit lighter onto the pile. The Chloe I loved died when she was 16. She was never coming back. The roaring fire illuminated my face, reflecting a deep sadness in my eyes, but also a glimmer of hope for the future. In 62 hours, my son and I would vanish, leaving nothing behind for Chloe. As I was about to sleep, a torrential downpour began, punctuated by flashes of lightning and claps of thunder. I've always been terrified of thunderstorms, so I put on my noise-canceling headphones and curled into a ball under the covers, waiting for it to pass. Suddenly, I heard a sharp cry from the crib. Fighting my fear, I scrambled out of bed to check on my son. He was burning up, his face flushed, and he was spitting up his milk. My heart dropped. I scooped him up and rushed downstairs to call a cab for the hospital. Our house was in the suburbs, and getting a ride on a rainy night like this was nearly impossible. As I stood there in a panic, a familiar Rolls-Royce drove past. Inside were Chloe and Liam. "Stop the car. Stop." Forgetting all our issues, I fought to keep my umbrella open against the wind as I ran, banging on the window. "Chloe, let us in. Our son, Leo, has a high fever. We have to get to the hospital." Chloe lowered the window, her eyes locking onto mine, her voice frigid. "You're so manipulative. When I don't come home, you resort to lying about our son being sick to lure me back." "Leo really has a fever," I pleaded, my voice trembling with desperation. "Chloe, I have never asked you for anything, but I'm begging you now. For the sake of the 3 years I cared for you when you were blind, please, just give us a ride to the hospital. He needs a doctor now." "Chloe, it's impossible to get a cab in this rain. Just let them in," Liam said gently, smoothing her dress. "The cut on my forehead will be fine in a few days. It's no big deal. You're too naive. How many times has Ethan tricked you?" Chloe retorted, her brow furrowed in annoyance. "We're taking Noah to the dentist. We don't have time to waste on him." The car sped off, splashing muddy water all over my coat. A chill seeped into my bones, and I started shivering so hard I couldn't speak. It was cruel enough that Chloe, who once loved me, now wished I were dead. But to abandon her own sick child, she didn't deserve to be a mother. I dragged my exhausted body to the main road and waved frantically at passing cars. Finally, an Uber pulled over. The driver rushed out and opened the door. "Is your kid sick? Get in, quick. I'll get you to the hospital." "Thank you," I sobbed, clutching my son tightly. "Leo, just hold on, we're almost there." The driver glanced back. "He looks tiny, not even a month old, right? With a fever that high, how could she let you come out here alone? Where's his mother?" "She's dead," I said, my voice flat. The driver gave me a sympathetic look. "I'm so sorry, man. That's tough. There's a dry towel in the back. You should dry him off. You don't want him catching a chill on top of that fever, especially since he's too young for medicine." I thanked him and used the towel to dry my son's hair. The driver sped through the streets, and soon we pulled up alongside the Rolls-Royce at a red light. Through the window, I saw Liam kissing Chloe. He looked over and shot me a triumphant smirk. "Hey, is that rich woman in the Rolls your wife?" the driver asked, following my gaze. His voice turned angry. "What the hell is wrong with her? Her kid is burning up, and she's over there making out with some other guy, leaving you two in the rain. That's her own flesh and blood. What does that matter? She prefers raising another man's son to her own," I said bitterly, using an alcohol wipe on Leo's skin to bring the fever down. "Sir, can you please hurry?" When we got to the hospital, Leo was rushed into an emergency room. The doctor handed me a form for the bill. Because he was premature, he needed expensive, specialized medicine, and the total came to over $20,000. I quit my job after we got married to take care of Chloe full-time. The couple $100,000 I had in savings was almost gone, spent on Leo's care after he was born. I found the unlimited credit card Chloe had given me, but when I tried to use it, it was declined. She had canceled it. I called everyone I could think of, but no one would help. As a last resort, I called Chloe. Liam answered on the first ring. "Ethan, what's up? Chloe's in the shower right now." Before I could say a word, I heard playful laughter and the sound of the phone clattering to the floor. "Chloe, slow down," Liam's voice purred. "My hair isn't even dry yet." The sounds that followed were sickening. I hung up, my heart sinking. As I was desperately trying to figure out who else to call, one of the ER doctors, Dr. Hayes, offered to cover the bill for me. I was stunned and immensely grateful. "Dr. Hayes," I said, bowing deeply, "thank you. You saved our lives today. I'll pay you back as soon as I sell my house." "Don't worry about paying me back right away," Dr. Hayes said, her expression full of sympathy. "By the way, Mr. Grant, our hospital has a new experimental drug. It's shown success in repairing damaged neural pathways. Are you going to tell Ms. Anderson? It could be the key to restoring her memory." A warmth spread through my chest, and tears slid down my cheeks. A doctor I barely knew was willing to help me, while my own wife cut off my funds and ignored our dying son to be with her lover. My life as Mr. Anderson was a pathetic, undignified joke. Mr. Grant, you need to stay strong, Dr. Hayes said gently before heading back to the ER. I wiped my eyes and bit my lip. I will, I vowed. I'll live for my Leo, I answered calmly. Please wait until after his 1-month celebration in 2 days to tell her. 2 hours later, Leo's fever finally broke. I held him close, my tears dampening his little face. Dr. Hayes told me that if we'd arrived just 10 minutes later, the fever would have caused permanent brain damage. Leo was born weighing only 4.5 pounds. He'd spent 2 weeks in an incubator just to survive. Chloe had visited him only once. On the day he was discharged, her face a mask of disgust. She stayed for 3 minutes. And tonight, because of her cruelty, my son almost became disabled. A person like that doesn't just deserve to be a mother. She barely deserves to be human. I wanted her to get her memory back, just so she could be tormented by what she did tonight. I wanted her to remember, only to realize she would never see her son or me again. I wanted her to suffer the guilt for the rest of her life. I was taking Leo downstairs to the pharmacy when the elevator doors opened, and Chloe walked in, holding Liam's son. She was beaming. Liam, don't worry about the cost. Use the best materials for his dental work. $100,000 is nothing to me. It's the price of a bracelet. I lowered my gaze, hiding the cold fury in my eyes. I wondered if she would still be so generous with Liam's son when her memory returned. I couldn't wait to see the day she finally broke down. Yeah, thank you for being so good to Noah, Liam said. He then noticed me and gave an awkward smile. Ethan, is your son, Leo, okay? You look terrible. Maybe you should let Chloe help you out for a bit. Him? Let me watch his child. Chloe scoffed. Ethan, you're really willing to do anything to get me to come home, aren't you? Even making your own son sick just to corner me at the hospital. You're the most heartless father I've ever seen. I ignored her completely, focusing on adjusting Leo's blanket. Suddenly, the strap on the diaper bag snapped, sending bottles and diapers scattering across the elevator floor. A sharp pain shot through my head, but I forced myself to squat down and gather our things. Liam reached out and steadied my arm. Ethan, you look like you're in pain. Stay still, I'll get it. Liam, why are you helping him? Chloe snapped, pulling Liam behind her. Who knows what kind of trick he's planning to pull on you this time? Stay away from him. Chloe, don't be so harsh on Ethan. We were college roommates after all, Liam said softly. He might have been a slow learner, but he always worked incredibly hard. Hardworking? You mean graduating at the bottom of his class? Chloe sneered. It's a complete disgrace that my son has a failure like him for a father. And it's an even greater disgrace that my son has a heartless woman like you for a mother. I shot back, fighting through the pain in my head as I picked up the last of our things. Don't you ever call yourself Leo's mother again. You don't deserve the title. Chloe stared at me, a look of disbelief on her face. I could see her realizing that the man in front of her was a stranger. I had always been so compliant, so eager to please. I never dared to talk back to her like that. Ethan, cut it out with your little games. Chloe's face darkened. I'm telling you right now, nothing you do tonight is going to make me come home. Before she could finish her threat, I walked out of the elevator with my son. I suddenly froze, my eyes wide. For some reason, Leo had reached a tiny hand out from his blue swaddle and grabbed onto the sleeve of Chloe's coat. He babbled at her, and a drop of milk from the corner of his mouth fell onto the back of her hand. Chloe froze for a second, then violently shook his hand off. She took off her expensive coat, threw it in a nearby trash can, and snapped, "What do you want? You're disgusting." Terrified by her venomous tone, Leo buried his face in my chest and began to sob. "Shoo, Leo, don't cry. Daddy's here," I whispered, my own heart breaking as I wiped his tears. My voice was thick with emotion. "I'll always be with you, my sweet boy. From now on, it's just you and me." Hearing my words, Chloe paused. She looked at my utterly defeated expression, and a flicker of unease crossed her face. As if for the first time, she felt something slipping from her grasp. "Chloe, Noah's nose is bleeding," Liam said urgently. "We need to get him to a restroom." Chloe snapped back to the present and started to leave with him, but then she stopped and turned back to me. Her voice was sharp. "Ethan, our son's 1-month celebration is in 2 days. I'm warning you, take care of him. If you pull any more stunts, you'll answer to me." I just lowered my head and smiled grimly, saying nothing. In another 12 hours, my son and I would be gone. The only thing waiting for her at his celebration would be divorce papers. The next morning, I had a real estate agent bring a potential buyer over, an older couple. They looked at each other, their expressions concerned. Mr. Grant, this is a beautiful home. Is there something wrong with it? Why are you in such a hurry to sell? Where will you go? I'm planning to move back to my hometown to recuperate, I said calmly. The title is clean, no issues. If you're serious, I'll knock another $500,000 off the price, but I need the payment in full. Done, the husband said, and they signed the contract on the spot. I went with them to the county clerk's office to finalize the transfer, then had my agent arrange the purchase of a furnished house for me in Costa Rica. With that settled, I closed all my bank accounts, picked up my new passport, and bought a one-way ticket out of Miami for the next day. When I dragged my exhausted body home that night, I saw a pair of men's dress shoes by the door that weren't mine. A woman's white blouse was tossed carelessly on the floor. My mind went blank. I stumbled up the stairs and then ran back down, clamping a hand over my mouth as I rushed into the bathroom. I knelt before the toilet and retched until there was nothing left but bitter bile. I slumped against the wall, gasping for air as tears streamed down my face. Chloe was so cruel. It was one thing to flaunt her affair with Liam all over town, but to bring him here into our home, into our room, the humiliation was absolute. I dug my nails into my palms, forcing the tears back. I took the glass of water Maria offered me. Please prepare the downstairs guest room, I said, my voice weak. Leo and I will sleep there tonight, and please, bring down the aloe plant from the master bedroom. My mother gave it to me, and it deserves to be in a room with clean air. Of course, sir, Maria said, then hesitated. Ma'am said, Mr. Carter would like some of your homemade soup. She said you are to make it and bring it up immediately. She said if you don't, she'll never come home again. My eyes went cold. Good. If she never came back, I'd finally have some peace. I was sound asleep in the guest room when the blankets were ripped off me. Are you deaf? Chloe roared. I told you to make soup for Liam. Didn't you hear me? Why on earth would I make soup for him? I shot back. Because you brought him into our home to humiliate me? Or because you're just waiting for me to die so he can take my place? Chloe stared at me, stunned into silence for a moment. Feeling brave, are we? You dare talk back to me? I'm gonna count to 3, and if you don't get up and go to the kitchen, I will. I snapped. I grabbed the glass of water from the nightstand and threw it at her. Get out, I yelled. Your father gave this house to me. You have no right to order me around in it. The water soaked through her shirt, and her face contorted with rage. You bastard! How dare you? You nearly disfigured Liam at the mall, and I let you off easy by just asking for soup, and now you have the nerve to act like this? I guess it's true what they say about children raised without a mother. I thought I had reached the depths of my disappointment with her, but I was wrong. She had just weaponized my greatest pain against me. She'd forgotten the day she took my hand and said, Ethan, don't cry. From now on, my mom is your mom. I'll never let you feel alone. And if anyone ever makes fun of you for not having a mother, I'll destroy them. Her promise was so clear in my memory, yet here she was, tearing me down to defend Liam. A wave of pure agony washed over me, and tears streamed down my face. A volcanic rage erupted inside me, so hot I felt like my skin would split open. I was done being her punching bag. If you think I'm so useless, then go be with Liam, I shouted. Why did you even bother coming back? I certainly didn't ask you to come here and torture me. Ethan, I only came back with Chloe to help her pack some things. I never meant to humiliate you, Liam said, his voice barely a whisper as he adjusted his shirt. She just got carried away, and I couldn't stop her. I'm so sorry I caused this fight. I had Maria change the sheets, so you can still use the bed. Cut the innocent act, I snarled. I'm counting to 3. If you're not gone, I'm calling Mr. Anderson to come deal with you himself. At the mention of her father, the color drained from Chloe's face. Her father had always been fond of me. If he found out about this, it wouldn't end well for them. Fuming, she grabbed Liam and stormed out. You just wait, she spat. This isn't over. I slammed the door and locked it. Chloe and Liam scurried back to their car, her face a mask of fury. I could see the staff whispering nearby. It's about time Sir stood up for himself, one of them said. That was so satisfying to watch. He did the right thing. What she did was outrageous, asking him to cook for her lover. If it were me, I'd want to kill her, another replied. She deserved it. Even a saint has a breaking point. He may love her, but no one can endure that kind of abuse forever. One day, his love will run out, and she'll be the one left with nothing but regret. Chloe scoffed. The biggest regret of her life was giving in to her father and marrying me. I was too manipulative, she thought. When she woke up from her coma, Liam was the one by her side. I had deliberately gotten the same tattoo as Liam and claimed I was the one who saved her from the fire. Even more absurdly, I'd shown her a box of love letters and claimed they were hers, as if she couldn't recognize her own handwriting. Those letters were obviously for Liam. Liam saw the storm brewing on Chloe's face and pretended to soothe her. Ethan just loves you so much. He couldn't handle what happened in his room today. You're the bigger person, Chloe. Don't stoop to his level. Liam, you're too kind. After how Ethan humiliated you, you're still defending him, Chloe said, pulling him into a protective embrace. I'll show him what happens when you cross me. Someone, get my lawyer on the phone. I want divorce papers drawn up immediately. Ethan Grant is leaving with nothing. Liam nestled against her, a dark satisfaction in his eyes. Chloe wanted a divorce. I was completely broken. If I agreed, the title of Mr. Anderson would finally be his. After Chloe left, I tore every wedding photo and album in the house to shreds and threw them away. I packed my clothes into a suitcase. Maria was pacing nervously, threatening to call Mr. Anderson and tell him everything. I stopped her. Don't bother him. His health is too fragile. But sir, you can't just leave with the baby. What will happen to the madam? Maria cried, her eyes red. She's had 2 major surgeries on her brain. A shock like this could be dangerous for her. She'll live, I said coldly. Help me take down the embroidered lily tapestry in the living room. It was a wedding gift from my mother. I held the tapestry, the embroidered lilies blurring through my tears. My mother and I were all each other had. When I was in the 6th grade, she was diagnosed with terminal lung cancer. Hiding her pain from me, she'd spent her last days secretly embroidering this tapestry. On the day she died, my mother solemnly placed my hand in Chloe's. With her last breath, she whispered, "Good girl, I'm entrusting my Ethan to you. I hope you'll be happy together. If you ever fall out of love with him, please just let him go. Don't hurt him. Don't worry. I'll take care of Ethan," a young Chloe had promised through her tears. "If I ever betray him, may I live every day in agony and die old and alone." A light returned to my mother's tired eyes. "Chloe," she said, her voice firm, "I've always been a good judge of character. I know you'll protect my Ethan for the rest of his life and never let him cry." "Mother, I thought you were wrong." I clutched the tapestry to my chest, my voice choked with a sob. Chloe stopped loving me a long time ago, and now I was done loving her. The wind howled outside, as if it were crying for me. I wiped my tears and spoke to the memory of my mother. "Don't worry, Mom. I'm a grown man now. I don't need Chloe to be happy. I'll take good care of Leo, and we'll have a good life." "Sir, the president sent a courier with a document for you," a lawyer said, bowing as he entered. I took the envelope. It was the divorce agreement. Chloe was not only refusing to pay a single cent in child support, but she was also demanding I leave with nothing and return the custom wedding ring she'd given me. She was utterly heartless. I was about to sign when my phone buzzed with a series of iMessages from Liam. "Ethan, Chloe just dropped $10 million on some emerald earrings at an auction tonight. Then she spent another $8 million on a matching pendant for me." He sent a photo. "Don't I look good? Too bad she already gave me that whole collection of jewels she once gave you. All that's left is the ring on your finger. She's so possessive. I have 2 rooms full of gifts from her, but she keeps insisting on giving me more. I tried to refuse earlier, so she punished me 5 times. Something inside me snapped. I called him. "Liam," I said, my voice dangerously calm. "If you hadn't copied my tattoo, stolen her letters to me, forged her handwriting, and taken my place, would you be enjoying any of this?" He just laughed. "If you want to blame someone, blame her. Her love for you wasn't strong enough to see through my little deception." Cold dread filled me. Is Chloe pregnant? That's my ace in the hole, Ethan. As for you, what does it matter that she had your child? She still threw you away like trash. It's pathetic. You would have been better off dying in that fire. At least it would have been less painful than this. Being alive didn't change a thing. She's still kicking you to the curb. My hand was shaking so badly I almost dropped the phone. "That fire, that was you?" Liam just laughed. "What if it was? Even if you told Chloe, she'd just think you were making up lies to hurt me. If I were you, I would have died of shame long ago. How can you still stand to call yourself Mr. Anderson?" I smiled coldly and stopped the recording. I took a cab to the Chicago River. I handed the recording and the signed divorce papers to the agent from the disappearance service. Then, as instructed, I took off my shoes and left them on the riverbank. "Mr. Grant, I just need to confirm one last time," the agent said. "You've chosen the no-body recovered option." "I'm sure," I replied. Then, I picked up my suitcase and vanished into the night. Just wait. The day of my departure would be the beginning of Liam's personal hell. The day Chloe's world would shatter, and maybe, just maybe, the day she would finally begin to remember. The next day was my son's 1-month celebration. After her night with Liam, Chloe checked her phone. She was surprised to find no missed calls or frantic texts from me. The silence was unusual. Remembering the formalities of the celebration, she got dressed to leave, but Liam wrapped his arms around her waist. Chloe, just be patient and spend tonight at home with Ethan. It will put your father's mind at ease. Don't sneak out to see me, okay? We have plenty of time to figure things out. Liam, you're always so thoughtful, even when you're the one being treated unfairly, she murmured. She stayed with him a while longer. By the time she arrived at the hotel for the party, the ballroom was packed with guests, all whispering amongst themselves. But my son and I were nowhere to be seen. Chloe, I can tolerate your usual nonsense, but to be this late to your own son's party is unacceptable, her father thundered, his face red with anger. What did you do to Ethan this time? His phone has been disconnected. Disconnected. Chloe's initial surprise quickly turned to fury. The nerve of him. How dare he skip his own son's party? Father, this is just another one of Ethan's pathetic games to get my attention. When I find him, I'm going to make him pay. Just talk to him, Chloe. Don't make things worse, her father pleaded. Chloe tried my number again and again, but it was still disconnected. She called all of my friends, but no one had seen me. Her frustration mounting, she ordered her assistant to launch a citywide search. Ma'am, he's not at the baby supply store he usually goes to. He's not at his favorite flower shop either. Keep looking, Chloe snapped, and put out the word, $100,000 reward for any information leading to his whereabouts. The day wore on, and there was still no sign of me. The guests grew restless, crowding around Chloe with their theories. It can't be a kidnapping, one said. We would have gotten a ransom call by now. Who knows? Another guest speculated. I heard he and Chloe had a huge fight yesterday. Maybe he got desperate and jumped into the river with the baby, but he pursued her for 8 years, a third countered. Everyone knows how much he loves her. He wouldn't just give up like that. Their chatter made Chloe's head spin. She thought about the divorce papers she'd sent over last night, and a knot of anxiety tightened in her stomach. The man loved her more than life itself. What if he'd done something stupid? No, he wouldn't. Chloe tried to reassure herself. Ethan loved their son too much to ever harm him or himself. He was probably just hiding at home, waiting for her to come looking for him. Chloe raced out of the hotel and drove home. A moving truck was parked in the driveway, and movers were carrying furniture inside. Felt like the world had dropped out from under her. She ran to the woman directing the movers and grabbed her arm. This is my house. What are you doing? Your husband sold it to us yesterday, the woman said, trembling at Chloe's icy tone. I have the deed right here. The color drained from Chloe's face. She snatched the deed and scanned it, her eyes landing on a stranger's name. She stumbled backward. He sold our house, she whispered. My father gave this house to Ethan. He said he wanted to pass it down to our children. You're lying. You're working with him to trick me. Chloe shoved past the movers and ran inside. The embroidered lily tapestry was gone from the living room wall. All of our photos were gone. The wooden box where she kept her precious letters, which had sat on the sideboard for years, was also gone. Ethan, get out here, she screamed, throwing open door after door, searching for him. I'm counting to 3. If you don't show yourself, I'll have our son taken away from you, and I swear you will never see him again. The house was silent. There was no answer. Her mind was a chaotic mess, her head throbbing. She ran outside and grabbed one of the maids. Where is he hiding? Tell me, or I'll have you all fired. Sir left with the baby last night, the maid stammered, terrified. And he burned all of his gifts to you. The letters, too. Burned them all, Chloe whispered, stumbling back. He loved me more than anything. He would never give up being Mr. Anderson. I know. He's at his mother's old house. He's waiting for me to come and get him. A grim determination settled on her face. Ethan Grant, you think you can play these games with me? She muttered through gritted teeth. We'll see how long you can last. She was certain that within a few hours, I would come crawling back, begging for her forgiveness. Chloe waited at the hotel until nightfall, but I never appeared. She grew agitated. This man was getting bold, leaving her waiting like this. When he finally came back, she was going to have to lay down some new ground rules. Chloe, go and find my son-in-law and my grandson right now. Do you hear me? Her father demanded, his face grim. Every guest here is waiting for them. Do you intend to disgrace the Anderson family name? A chorus of other family members chimed in, urging her to go. Fine, fine. I get it. I'm going, she snapped. As she turned to leave, the ballroom doors burst open and her assistant ran in, looking panicked. What is it? Where's Ethan? Chloe demanded. Ma'am, he sold his mother's house too. There's no one there. Chloe's head was spinning. She stumbled backward. Ethan and his mother had been inseparable. He cherished that little house more than life itself. And he'd sold it? Was he really cutting all ties to Miami? Was he never coming back? You ungrateful child. What did you do to drive him away? Her father yelled, striking her with his cane. Ethan takes care of that baby day in and day out, and you treat him like this. How did I raise such a heartless daughter? Now go and find him. Father, calm down. He's just angry because I mentioned divorce last night. He's hiding to punish me. He loves our son too much to do anything stupid. Someone, put out a missing person alert across the city. I want him found. Ma'am, his social security number, his driver's license. It's all been erased. There's no record of him on any flight or bus. Just then, another assistant ran up, an old man in tow. Ma'am, I found someone. He has information about Mr. Grant. Chloe's pupils constricted. She grabbed the old man's sleeve, her voice hoarse. Where did you see my husband? The man shakily held up a plastic bag. I was fishing down by the Chicago River around midnight, he stammered. I found these under a rock. The name on them is Ethan Grant. Chloe took the papers. At the bottom of the last page was Ethan's signature, firm and decisive. Her hand trembled as she picked up a small digital recorder. She took a breath and pressed play. A familiar conversation filled the air. Liam, if you hadn't copied my tattoo, stolen her letters to me, forged her handwriting and taken my place, would you be enjoying any of this? Then, Liam's voice, smug and victorious. If you want to blame someone, blame her. Her love for you wasn't strong enough to see through my little deception. Liam's voice continued, full of mirth. If I were you, I would have died of shame long ago. How can you still stand to call yourself Mr. Anderson? The recording ended with Ethan's voice, hollow and defeated. Fine, as you wish. I'll give you the title of Mr. Anderson. The recorder slipped from her fingers and clattered to the floor. Chloe sank to her knees, her face a mask of despair. How could this be? She couldn't have been wrong. Liam was the one she loved. Ethan was the imposter. This had to be a trick. He was angry about the divorce, so he faked this recording to ruin her. Keep searching, she shrieked. Find that manipulative bastard and bring him to me. I'll make him pay for this. Ms. Anderson, the old fisherman said gently, I don't think your husband is coming back. He held out another item from his bag. I found these by the river, too. A pair of men's dress shoes, size 10. I'm so sorry for your loss. Chloe stared at the shoes, and a memory flashed in her mind. The day before their wedding, her father had forced her to go shopping with Ethan. If you wear shoes bought by the one you love, he'd said, you'll always find your way home. She had completely ignored him. Chloe, you ungrateful daughter, her father cried, tears streaming down his face. You drove the man who adored you to his death. You forced him to take his own life, and our sons with him. My grandson, my beautiful grandson is gone. The entire ballroom erupted in shocked gasps. I can't believe it. Ethan spent 8 years letting her walk all over him, just hoping she would remember him, a guest whispered. And in the end, he was destroyed by Liam Carter's lies. What a tragic end. Liam always seemed so nice, someone else murmured. Who knew he could be so evil? One of Chloe's friends spoke up. I told her for years that Ethan was the one she loved before the accident. I told her those letters were for him, but she wouldn't listen. She only believed Liam. Ethan gave up his entire career for her, just to be by her side, and all he got was her disgust while she ran around with Liam. He didn't deserve that. He nearly died for that baby, and she didn't even care. She wanted to divorce him for another man's child. If I were him, I don't think I could have gone on living either. Ethan loves our son. He wouldn't do this. He's not dead. Chloe screamed, clutching her head as a searing pain shot through it. She collapsed, and just before she lost consciousness, she choked out, Get me that new medicine, the one for my memory. I have to know the truth and find Ethan. You have to find him. The lavish party ended with the news that Ethan Grant and his infant son had taken their own lives. The shock sent Mr. Anderson to the hospital with heart problems. At the same time, Chloe was rushed into emergency surgery for a cerebral hemorrhage. Liam rushed to the hospital and waited by her bedside for 3 days. The moment Chloe woke up, she lunged at him, pinning him against the wall by his throat. Her face was terrifying, her voice a raw rasp. I remember everything. You stole Ethan's place. You bastard, you lied to me for 8 years. You made me hate him. You're the reason he and my son are dead. I'm going to make you wish you had never been born. Liam's face turned purple as he gasped for air, finally managing to shove her off. And you think you're blameless in this? He choked out. If you really loved Ethan, would my lies have worked so easily? You're the one who drove him to despair. You're the one who killed him and your son. A look of agony crossed Chloe's face, and she collapsed to her knees, clutching her chest. A flood of forgotten memories washed over her. Ethan's voice. Chloe, could you buy me these shoes? All my favorites were ones you picked out. Chloe, I made your favorite soup. Maybe it will help you remember. Then, his final, defeated words from the recording. Fine, as you wish. I'll give you the title of Mr. Anderson. She clutched the recorder, her eyes blazing with a new, desperate hope. Ethan is strong. He wouldn't just die. He's alive. And when I find him, I'm going to make you pay for what you've done. The story of Chloe, Ethan, and Liam exploded overnight. The public turned on Liam, furious at his deception. The internet was flooded with calls for him to be blacklisted from Hollywood. His endorsements were dropped, and his movies were pulled from streaming services. Anderson Corp's stock plummeted, and the shareholders were in an uproar. Soon after, the public turned its rage on Chloe, branding her a heartless monster. The scandal dominated the news cycle for over a month, the public's fury refusing to die down. Far away in Costa Rica, the news was unavoidable every time I opened my phone. I never clicked on the articles. I just scrolled past. I was done with Chloe. Whether she lived or died was no longer my concern. Ethan Grant was gone. I was now Evan Cole, owner of a small bakery and father to a wonderful son. I dabbled in day trading online, and my life was simple and quiet. A year flew by. I was at the hospital for Leo's annual checkup when I ran into Dr. Hayes in the elevator. She stared at me for a long moment, her eyes welling up with tears. Ethan, she whispered, it's been a long time. Are you okay? You have the wrong person. My name is Evan, I said, trying to step past her, but she blocked my way. You look a little different, and you had the small mole under your right eye removed, but I know it's you. Mr. Grant, I went to Northside Prep with you and Chloe. I was in your year. My name is Ava Hayes. Do you remember me? I don't know you, I said, walking away quickly. She followed me. Don't worry, I won't tell Chloe I saw you, she said. As a friend, I want to help if I can. I remembered the $20,000 I still owed her and stopped. Please, keep my identity a secret. If you give me your account details, I can transfer you the money I owe you. Ava smiled. The medical conference I'm here for doesn't start until this afternoon. I'm free until then. Let me walk you down to pediatrics. Okay, I said. Thank you. Ava stayed with me through Leo's entire checkup. She even won him a little toy car from a claw machine, which made him giggle with delight. As we were about to part ways, her expression grew serious. Ethan, she said, do you remember that I decided to become a doctor because of you? Because of me? I asked, completely lost. I can't believe you, she said, a playful pout on her lips. You even wrote on my arm, and you've forgotten all about it. She rolled up her sleeve. Look. I looked, and my eyes widened. There, tattooed on her forearm in elegant, strong script, were the words, to heal and protect. It was unmistakably my handwriting. Staring at the words, a memory surfaced. When I was 10, I was in the hospital for leukemia. I met a girl my age who had broken her leg playing basketball. She would visit me every day to cheer me up, bringing me butterflies she'd caught or sneaking me snacks from the cafeteria. Chloe hated it. She would try to chase the girl away whenever she saw her, forbidding her from coming near me. The day after my big surgery, I was resting when she climbed in through my window. She handed me a small box. I have to go home now, she said. I brought you these butterflies. I hope they make you happy. When I grow up, I'm going to be a doctor. I'm going to invent the world's best pain medicine, so you never have to hurt again. I told her that was a noble goal, and with a marker, I carefully wrote to heal and protect on her arm. A doctor's duty is to heal and protect, Ava said now, tracing the tattoo. I never forgot what you said, Ethan. I studied like crazy, always aiming to be at the top of the class, hoping you'd see my name on the honor roll and remember the girl who brought you butterflies. I just wanted you to see me. Her face fell. But you forgot. You only ever saw Chloe. I'm sorry, I said, genuinely ashamed. Chloe told me she was the one who brought me the butterflies. I believed her. I was the one who brought them. That manipulative witch, Ava said, her voice full of old anger. The day of the big basketball game our freshman year, I was going to tell you everything, but Chloe started a fight with me to stop me. I got suspended and had to transfer schools. I never got another chance to talk to you. Tears streamed down her face. When I heard that she'd mistaken Liam for her boyfriend after her accident, I was so furious I could have killed her. But you never gave up on her. You spent 8 years waiting for her to remember. If only I had perfected that neural drug sooner, you wouldn't have had to suffer so much. It's okay. The pain is in the past. I'm okay now, I said, wiping a tear from my own eye. Maybe someday you can come watch me play basketball again. Ava's face broke into a brilliant smile. I'd love that. After that day, Ava started visiting my bakery every afternoon. We quickly fell into an easy friendship, talking about everything, growing closer each day. A few weeks later, she invited me to a local basketball game. After it ended, she ran over with a bottle of water, then covered my eyes with her hands. I have a surprise for you, she whispered. Come with me. She led me up what felt like a long flight of stairs. Okay, she said, her voice soft in my ear. You can look now. I opened my eyes. The air was filled with thousands of butterflies, their wings catching the twilight and setting the sky ablaze with color. I held out a hand, and one of the delicate creatures landed on my fingertip. Ava, it's the middle of winter. Where did you get all these? From my butterfly conservatory, she said, placing her hands on my shoulders. The one I built for you. I've been raising them for 14 years. 14 years? I asked, stunned. Yes, from the day I first met you, she said, her gaze intense. Ethan, I have never forgotten you. You've been in my heart for 14 years. You're a part of me now. Please give me a chance. Let me take care of you. Her intense gaze was almost overwhelming. I looked down. I'm not sure I'm ready for a new relationship just yet. Can you give me some time? Of course, she said instantly. I'll wait as long as it takes. After that day, Ava was a constant, welcome presence in my life. I soon discovered she wasn't just great with kids. She had a brilliant mind for business. With her help, I rebranded my little bakery. In 6 months, business was booming. I had a citywide reputation and had just opened my second location. I was making more money than I'd ever dreamed of. Ava, you're a genius, I told her one afternoon, smiling. You completely turned my business around. I want to get you something to say thank you. Anything you want. I want you to be my date to our high school reunion back in Chicago, she said, her eyes full of a deep, warm affection. Will you? Yes, I said, without a moment's hesitation. We flew back to Chicago the next day. When I walked into the reunion with Ava on my arm, we instantly became the center of attention. Wow, Ava, one of our old classmates said. Did you find a stand-in for your old crush? He looks a lot like Ethan Grant. Ava just smiled graciously. Drinks are on me tonight, everyone. Have a good time. Her announcement was met with a loud cheer. I heard Ava was in love with Ethan for 14 years but never got to tell him before he died, someone whispered. She must have found this guy to cope. Remember that huge fight she got into with Chloe Anderson over him? Chloe got suspended, but Ava had to transfer. All that waiting, and for nothing. She released butterflies for him for 3 years straight. It was so romantic. I always thought they'd end up together, but then Chloe snatched him up. Another classmate turned to me. Ava comes from a powerful family, you know? You've hit the jackpot. I just smiled politely. Later, on my way to the restroom, I ran right into Chloe Anderson. My heart sank. I turned to walk away, but she blocked my path, her hand clamping down on my shoulder like a vice. Her face was a mask of pure, unadulterated joy, her lips trembling so hard she couldn't speak. Finally, she managed to stammer, Ethan, you're not dead? You're alive. She threw her arms around me, sobbing uncontrollably. I thought you and Leo were gone forever. I thought you drowned. For 2 years, I've been funding charities, praying day and night that you found peace, and it worked. Oh, thank God I found you. Let go of me, I said, pushing her away as she tried to kiss me. I'm not your dead husband. My name is Evan Cole, and I'm Ava Hayes' boyfriend. It is you, Ethan, she cried, caressing my face. You heartless man. You removed the mole under your eye, you changed your hair. But it's you. Do you have any idea how much I've missed you for the past 2 years? She leaned in and kissed me, her tears falling onto my cheeks. Ethan, I've missed you so much I thought I was going insane. Sometimes, when I'd drink too much, I'd see you, coming to take me home. But then I'd wake up and you'd be gone. I struggled, but she only held on tighter. Suddenly, a blur of white rushed past me, and Chloe was on the floor. It was Ava. Ethan Grant and his son are dead, and you killed them, she yelled. This is my boyfriend, Evan. Now stop this insane act and get out of here. Chloe struggled to her feet, clutching her side, her eyes blazing. Don't lie to me. This is my Ethan. He picks his nails when he's nervous. He bites when he's angry. How could he be anyone else? You're the one who should get lost. He's my husband. What kind of fantasy are you living in? Ava's face was like thunder. She raised her fist again. Ethan signed the divorce papers before he died. He took his son and left you. He doesn't want you. Do you understand? If you ever harass my boyfriend again, I will not be so gentle. That's my Ethan, Chloe cried out from behind the crowd that had gathered. Ethan, I'm so sorry. When I lost my memory, I thought Liam was you. I made so many mistakes. I'll spend the rest of my life making it up to you. Please, just come back to me. I ignored her completely, took Ava's arm, and led her back to our table. Our friends were starting a party game and I ended up losing a round. My challenge was to play the game where you eat a cookie from both ends with a partner. My partner was Ava. We leaned in, our faces inches apart, when a powerful force ripped us away from each other. I stumbled, catching my balance, and looked up. It was Chloe, her face a mask of anguish. She was shaking as she threw her arms around me, her voice trembling. Ethan, you're mine. You can't kiss another woman. I brought that bastard Liam with me. You can do whatever you want to him. Just say the word. I looked down. Liam Carter was crumpled on the floor. His face was ashen, his hair was streaked with gray, and a long, ugly scar ran down his right cheek. Ethan, I'm so sorry for what I did, Liam sobbed. You can hit me, you can scream at me, do whatever you want. Just please, ask Chloe to let me see my son. I haven't seen him in 2 years. I dream about him every night, crying for me. I think I'm going insane. I looked at my old college roommate, and 1,000 memories flooded my mind. For 8 years, I had hated him with every fiber of my being. I hated him for his scheming, for stealing my life, for turning Chloe against me. But now, looking at the broken man on the floor, I felt nothing. His tears meant nothing to me. I've already recovered all the jewelry Liam stole from you, Chloe said, her eyes blazing with fury. And as for his son, I've hidden him away somewhere Liam will never find him. He will never see his child again. She looked at me, her voice a low growl. What else do you want me to do to him, Ethan? Just tell me. I'll do anything. I'm not your husband, and I don't care what you do to Liam, I said, my voice like ice. Ms. Anderson, please have some dignity. If you don't stop harassing me, I will call the police. Chloe looked at me, her face full of sorrow, like a child who's been caught doing something wrong. Ethan, she whispered, her voice choked with tears. You once told me that if you wear shoes given to you by someone you love, you'll always find your way home. For 2 years, I've worn the sneakers you bought me. I never take them off, not even to sleep. I am so sorry for what I did to you. Please, bring Leo and come home with me. I'll spend the rest of my life making it up to you. I am not your husband, I said, my patience gone. I walked over to Ava and put my arm around her waist. Ava, this woman is scaring me. She won't leave me alone. Please, let's just go. Don't worry, I'm here, Ava said, taking my hand and leading me away. Chloe ran after us, holding up a ring. Ethan, wait, it's your wedding ring, the one you threw away. I had it fixed. Please, just look at it. Don't leave me. Please don't leave me. I held onto Ava's hand and didn't look back. I could hear bodyguards trying to restrain Chloe and a lot of shouting. Let's go back to Costa Rica tomorrow, I said, my voice heavy with exhaustion. I don't want to see her again. Okay, Ava said softly. Whatever you want. Back at our hotel, I collapsed onto the sofa, completely drained. I glanced out the window and saw her standing under a streetlight across the street. It had started to rain, but she didn't have an umbrella. She was just standing there, soaked to the bone, calling my name. I walked to the window and drew the curtains. A moment later, my phone started ringing. It was her. I blocked her number, then for good measure, I took out my SIM card, got into bed, and pulled the covers over my head. I was woken in the middle of the night by a loud clap of thunder. I jolted awake, my old fear returning, and curled into a ball. Suddenly, a dark figure rushed into the room and wrapped its arms around me. Shoo, don't be afraid, Ethan. It was Chloe's voice. All sleepiness vanished. I shoved her away. How did you get in here? Get out. I'm not your husband. Leave me alone. Ethan, I know you hate me. I know you don't want to be with me. I understand, but I will never be mistaken again. You are my Ethan. I would know you even if you were nothing but ash. Ms. Anderson, you need to face reality, I said, my voice cold. Your husband and son died 2 years ago. I am not him. I just happen to look like him. Look like him? She repeated. And before I could react, she ripped my pajama pants, pointing to the distinctive birthmark on my inner thigh. Then what do you call this? Do you really think you can still lie to me? Mortified, I tried to cover myself. You're insane. Get out. In your dreams, she whispered, pressing me down onto the bed and kissing me. You are my man. I will not let you be with anyone else. I fought against her, and the struggle was so violent it woke Leo. He started screaming. "Leo!" I yelled, and using all my strength, I kicked her off me. In the second she recoiled, I snatched my son from his crib and ran out of the room. "Ava, help me!" I yelled. The door to the guest room flew open, and Ava stepped in front of me, shielding me from Chloe, who had followed me out. "Have you completely lost your mind?" Ava demanded. "Breaking into our home in the middle of the night to assault my fiancé? Get out, or I'm calling your father to come and collect you." Chloe's fists were clenched at her sides. She turned to leave, but paused at the door. "Ethan," she said, her voice low and dangerous, "I will never let you be with her. The only way that happens is over my dead body." After Chloe left and I finally got Leo back to sleep, I turned to Ava. "She's not going to stop," I said grimly. Maybe we should announce our engagement. If it's public, she won't be able to pull stunts like this." "Okay," Ava said, her eyes full of compassion. "I'll be your shield for as long as you need me to be. You've finally started to heal. I won't let her drag you back into the darkness." The next morning, I woke up to find that Chloe and I were the #1 trending topic on Twitter. She had donated 3 new buildings to our old university in my name. She also announced plans to turn my mother's old house into a public lily garden. In an interview, Chloe was beaming. "My husband and son are alive," she announced. "I'm going to do everything in my power to win them back and save my marriage. I'm asking the public for their support. I'm giving myself 100 days to bring my family back together for the holidays." I scoffed and put down my phone. What made her so confident I would ever take her back? I never go back for things I've thrown away. "Ethan, breakfast is ready," Ava said, placing a bowl on the table. She hesitated. "Chloe released a recent photo of you. The internet is convinced you're Ethan Grant. What are you going to do?" "Ethan Grant is dead. I'm Evan Cole," I said. I took her hand, snapped a photo of us, and posted it to Twitter. "Ms. Anderson is mistaken. I am not her late husband. My name is Evan Cole, and this is my fiancée, Ava Hayes." Ava immediately retweeted it, adding, "Please respect our privacy, Ms. Anderson, and stop harassing my fiancé." A moment later, Chloe retweeted Ava's post with a comment of her own. "You keep insisting he's not my husband. Then can you explain why his son is my exact miniature?" She then posted a photo of a document. "Dr. Hayes, here's the DNA test proving Leo is my son. What do you have to say now?" I was furious. "Ava, when did she get a sample of his DNA?" Ava went to the crib and searched around. "That witch," she said, her voice grim. "She must have taken his hat during the chaos last night. There's no denying it now." "It doesn't matter," I said, my fingers flying across my phone's screen. "It doesn't change anything." I posted another tweet, tagging Chloe. "I'm marrying Ava Hayes. You are destined to die alone." My post ignited a firestorm. Within the hour, every major news outlet was running photos of Chloe being rushed to the emergency room after collapsing. The internet exploded. "Who the hell is this Ava Hayes? Does she have a death wish? Trying to steal Chloe Anderson's husband?" One comment read, "Okay, Chloe was awful to him, but for Ethan to just announce his engagement to someone else, that's cold," said another. "But for the last 2 years, Chloe has been a wreck. She drinks every night. She's heartbroken. After she got her memory back, she refused to believe he was dead. She's been searching for him like a madwoman. She wears those sneakers he bought her everywhere. The soles are completely worn through. That's some serious, painful devotion. And she started that Lily Foundation in his name to help people with amnesia. That's a pretty amazing gesture. But you have to remember how much he loved her. He spent 8 years letting her treat him like dirt, just hoping she'd remember. She must have broken his heart completely. OMG, you guys, Ava Hayes is a literal genius. She's the protege of the famous Dr. Hayes, chief of surgery at a major hospital before she was 30, and she's gorgeous. My eyes lit up. I replied to that comment. "And my Dr. Hayes also makes a killer red velvet cake." The comments section exploded. "OMG," he replied. "He really seems to be in love with Dr. Hayes. Wait, something's not right. Dr. Hayes is brilliant, rich, and single. Why would she be with a divorced single dad? There has to be a story there." It didn't take long for the internet sleuths to discover that we had gone to high school together. Then they found it, a photo of Ava in the stands at one of my basketball games. It was a candid shot, capturing the exact moment she looked at me. The setting sun bathed her in a soft, golden light. I showed the photo to Ava. "Look at this," I said, smiling. "It's like a scene from a movie." "It is beautiful," she agreed, ruffling my hair. "Like the 2 main characters in a love story." I gently touched the image of the girl bathed in golden light. "Ava," I said softly, You were my salvation. You gave me the courage to start a new life. I'm so glad I found you again." We looked at each other, and her dark eyes filled with tears. She pulled me into a gentle embrace. "Ethan," she whispered, her voice thick with emotion, "that night at the hospital, I almost lost you. Every time I think about it." She pulled back, forcing a brilliant smile. "I guess there's some good karma in being a doctor. I got to save the man I love, and now I get to be with him forever. I'm so happy. I feel like I've waited my whole life for this." I reached up and wiped a tear from her cheek. "No more sad thoughts," I said softly. "You can do what a fiancé is supposed to do now." Her lips met mine in a warm, gentle kiss. I closed my eyes and kissed her back. We were lost in the moment when a phone started ringing insistently. I looked at the caller ID and my heart sank. I answered it. "Mr. Anderson? Is everything okay?" "Ethan," he sobbed into the phone, "I need you to talk to Chloe. She just got out of the hospital, and she started drinking again. She's throwing up blood, but she won't stop. No one can get through to her. I wouldn't be calling you if I had any other choice. I'm desperate." Knowing about his heart condition, I couldn't refuse. "Mr. Anderson, please don't worry. I'll go find her," I said. "But I need to be clear about one thing. I am never, ever getting back together with her. Please try to make her understand that we need to go our separate ways." "I'll try, Ethan. I promise," he said, his voice full of relief. "I'm sending you the address now." I rushed to the bar he named and found Chloe in a private room, surrounded by her friends who were all begging her to stop drinking. Her face was flushed, her shirt was unbuttoned, and her right hand was heavily bandaged. When they saw me, they all looked relieved. "Ethan, thank God you're here," one of her friends said. "Please, make her stop. She just had surgery for a stomach tumor. She can't drink. She's going to kill herself." "She always listened to you, Ethan," another friend pleaded. "Please talk some sense into her. Her father's heart can't take this kind of stress." I stopped a few feet away from her. "Chloe," I said, my voice flat, "stop drinking. It's time to go home." She looked up, her drunken eyes widening with joy. She reached out to touch my face, then let her hand fall. "I'm dreaming again," she slurred. "I'm dreaming that Ethan came to take me home, but he's angry with me. He would never come for me." "It's not a dream, Chloe. He's really here," one of her friends said, shaking her shoulder. "Now stop making a scene and go with him." "Ethan's here," she whispered, her voice full of disbelief. She stumbled over to me and peered at my face. Then, she held out a familiar wooden box. "Ethan," she said, her voice barely a whisper, "I rewrote them, all 238 letters you burned. I remembered every word. Will you look at them?" I didn't move. Her face fell. Then, she unbuttoned her shirt. "Ethan," she said, "I had this tattooed over my heart, so I will never, ever forget you again. Please, just give me a chance to make things right." I looked. There, tattooed in crimson ink over her heart, were the words, "My love, Ethan." The scarlet letters were intertwined with blooming lilies. The sight of it burned my eyes. In a daze, I could almost hear her voice from the letters. "My love, Ethan, New Year's Eve is so cold and lonely without you. Can you bring me a hot chocolate? My love, Ethan, I love it when you blush after I kiss you, and then chase me around with a textbook. You're so cute I could just eat you up. My love, Ethan, Merry Christmas. Don't forget to wear the matching watch I got you, or I'll kill you. My love, Ethan, don't worry about your grades. I'll work hard and make enough money to take care of you forever. Okay, please don't cry. It breaks my heart." All those memories, all those words, now permanently etched onto her skin. I looked away. "Chloe," I said, each word a heavy weight, "it's too late. Whatever love I had for you is gone. It's never coming back. We can build it again," she argued desperately. "If I just show you how much I love you, you'll remember how much you loved me." I just shook my head. "Chloe, I waited for you for 8 years. I gave you 1,000 chances, but you never trusted me. You never believed a single word I said. You wished I was dead, so you could be with someone else." "Ethan," she started, but I cut her off. "You say you loved me, but after your accident, you had no memory of my touch. You let another man convince you he was me. You call that love?" "Ethan, I can explain that," she said frantically. "After I took the medicine, I remembered something else. When I was in the coma, after the fire, I had a dream. I was at the edge of a cliff, and an old man told me that if I wanted to live, the price was all my memories of you. I couldn't bear the thought of leaving you all alone in the world, so I agreed." I laughed, a cold, bitter sound. "The things you'll make up to get me back. It's pathetic." I turned my back on her. "Chloe, you can't fix everything. The sun will never rise in the west, and I will never forgive you. You weren't a good wife and you weren't a good mother. The only thing you can do now is be a good daughter. Stop drinking and trying to kill your father with worry. I'm telling the truth. Ethan, I'm not lying, she cried, running to block my path. I swear, I had that dream. I don't believe a word you say, I said, and walked past her to where Ava was waiting. Let's go. Don't you dare leave, Chloe screamed, standing in front of Ava's car with her arms outstretched. Ethan, if you're going to leave with her, you'll have to run me over first. I got out of the car, exasperated. Can you please grow up? Stop pushing me. I don't love you anymore. This is pointless. It's not pointless. If you just give me a chance, we can be happy again, she pleaded. She held out the silver locket. I got it back from Liam. Please take it. Come home with me. The lilies I planted for you are in bloom. You can see them from our bedroom window. They're beautiful. He needs to get home to his son, Ava said, stepping between us and pushing the locket back into Chloe's hand. He doesn't have time for this. Chloe, you need to accept reality. He loves me now, not you. Please, Chloe, I begged. Leo is waiting for me. If I'm late, he'll cry all night. A look of agony crossed her face. She stepped aside, but her hand still clutched my sleeve. Ethan, she whispered, the dream was real. I wasn't lying. I don't believe you, I said without looking at her, and got into the car. She watched us drive away, then collapsed to her knees, sobbing. For 8 years, she had never given Ethan an ounce of trust. Now she was tasting her own medicine. To be disbelieved by the person you love. It was a pain so sharp it felt like she was being torn apart from the inside. She pulled herself up, her jaw set in grim determination. There had to be a way to win him back. She would not give up. The next day, I went with Ava to meet her parents. While we were there, Chloe sent me hundreds of iMessages, begging me not to do anything rash, promising me shares in Anderson Corp if I would just come back to her. I blocked her number and got a new SIM card. Meeting her parents went surprisingly well. They didn't seem to care that I was a divorced single father. They were warm and welcoming. After dinner, Ava and I went to a jewelry store to look at engagement rings. I heard someone call my name. I turned around. It was Chloe. She was wearing a torn shirt and had wrapped thorny branches around her arms in a bizarre act of penance. She knelt before me in the middle of the crowded store. Ethan, I'm sorry, she pleaded, her face pale and drawn. I was wrong for those 8 years. I broke your heart. Please, give me a chance to make it right. Don't get engaged to her. I'm begging you. The entire store fell silent, then erupted in whispers. That's Chloe Anderson, the CEO of Anderson Corp, apologizing like that in public. She must be desperately in love with him. He should give her a chance. They have so much history together. She's already ruined Liam Carter's life and taken his son away from him. Hasn't she punished him enough? What more does Ethan want? It's not every day a woman like that admits she was wrong. He shouldn't push her too far. He should forgive her, for the child's sake. A boy needs his mother. Seeing my silence, Chloe's face lit up with hope. Ethan, she said softly, I've transferred the deed to the Goldwyn International Tower to Leo. It's a gift. Please, accept it for him. Another wave of gasps went through the crowd. The Goldwyn Tower? That's one of the most valuable properties in Miami. It's worth hundreds of millions. Now that's a sincere apology. Her 2-year-old son is now a multimillionaire. I'm so jealous. If I were him, I'd take her back in a heartbeat. Who wouldn't want to be the pampered husband of a billionaire CEO? Why would you keep running a little bakery? I didn't take the papers she was holding out. Nothing you do will change my mind, I said, my voice cold. I am going to marry Ava. Let's just leave it at that. Stop wasting your time. Then I turned to Ava with a brilliant smile. I know you like that sapphire ring, the number 9, I said, loud enough for everyone to hear. Let's try it on. I slid the ring onto her finger, then kissed her forehead and pulled her into a gentle embrace. Get your hands off him, Chloe screamed, her face contorted with rage. She lunged at us, but was immediately surrounded and restrained by a wall of security guards. She stared at me, unable to get closer, and sank to her knees, sobbing. Through her tears, the scene blurred and shifted. Suddenly, she was the one kissing Liam, and Ethan was the one standing by the elevator, wiping away tears that would not stop falling. For the first time, she understood the depth of his despair. To be forced to watch the love of your life with someone else, powerless to stop it. The regret was so intense she wished she could travel back in time and murder her younger self. Chloe looked at the photo of a smiling Leo on her phone's lock screen. I will not give up on you, Ethan, she whispered. I will find a way to win you back. Soon it was my birthday. I woke up to a barrage of calls from Liam, which I blocked. Then he showed up at my apartment with a mountain of gifts, begging to see me. I sent him away. That evening, Ava threw a birthday party for me at a private club. Liam was waiting for me at the entrance. "Ethan," he said, his voice urgent. "That dream Chloe told you about, I think it's true. I was there after her surgery when she was still in the coma. She kept talking in her sleep. She kept saying your name. She's throwing a party for you tonight, too. Please just go. Give her a chance." "No," I said flatly. "I don't believe in ridiculous fairy tales, and I am never getting back together with her. Now get out of my way." He started begging, telling me his son was gravely ill with a fever that wouldn't break. "That's your problem, not mine," I said, my voice like ice. "You should have thought about the consequences before you decided to steal my life." "I regret it," he wailed. "I can't have any more children. Noah is all I have. He has a heart condition. The stress is killing him." Ava gave a signal, and a pair of security guards dragged Liam away. "Ethan," he screamed over his shoulder. "If anything happens to my son, I swear I'll come for yours. You just wait." A chill went down my spine. Ava squeezed my hand. "He's a nobody now, Ethan. He's powerless. Don't worry." I pushed the unease aside. Throughout the party, my phone buzzed with calls from Chloe, which I ignored. "Ethan," Ava said, coming over to me. "Chloe's been waiting downstairs for hours. Do you want to go see her? I heard she stayed up all week working on a birthday present for you." "I don't want her gift," I said calmly. "Let's go cut the cake." After the party, as we were leaving, I saw that Chloe was still there, waiting by our car. There was a large, strange-looking machine next to her. I frowned. "Will you ever give up? I told you, I don't want your gift." "This one is different, Ethan," she said. "It's about your mother. You'll like it." She handed me a pair of high-tech-looking glasses. "Just try them on, please." Ava agreed that I should try them. Reluctantly, I put them on. I gasped. Standing in front of me was my mother. She looked exactly as I remembered her, beautiful and gentle in her favorite lily print dress. She held out her arms. "Ethan," she said, "come here. Let me give you a hug." I walked forward and rested my head on her shoulder. I could feel the warmth of her body, smell the faint scent of lilies that always clung to her clothes. I breathed it in, lost in the moment, until her form began to flicker and fade into nothing. "It's a fully immersive holographic experience I developed using AI," Chloe said, her voice soft. "Do you like it? If her voice or her mannerisms aren't quite right, I can adjust the programming." I took off the glasses as if waking from a dream and wiped the tears from my eyes. "It's amazing. How much did this cost?" "I'll pay you for it." A look of pain crossed her face. "I'm not here to do business with you, Ethan. This is a gift. We've known each other our whole lives. Why are you being so cold? Why are you trying to hurt me?" I met her gaze, my own expression blank. "I have no personal relationship with Ms. Anderson. We can only discuss business. Is $5 million enough? If so, we can sign a contract right now, and I'll take the equipment off your hands." Chloe began to tremble with rage. Then she clutched her chest and collapsed. As she lost consciousness, her hand shot out and grabbed my sleeve, her grip like iron. "Ethan," she whispered, tears streaming from the corners of her eyes. "I'll wait for you. I'll wait until we're old and gray. I'll wait forever." Her grip was so tight that even with several people helping, we couldn't pry her fingers loose. She was holding onto the shirt my mother had made for me, and I couldn't bear the thought of it tearing. So, I had no choice but to follow them into the emergency room. As the doctors worked on Chloe, the nurses started talking to me. "Mr. Grant, she collapsed from exhaustion working on that gift for you. This is the second time she's been in the ER this week. Her body can't take much more of this. Her father has always been so good to you. How can you torture his daughter like this? You should be more grateful. She's clearly doing everything she can to win you back. Why are you being so cruel? You used to love her so much. And you have a child together. Think of how pitiful he'll be without a mother." "My son has a mother," I interrupted, my voice sharp. "This is my life. I don't need your advice." A little while later, Chloe's eyes fluttered open. She rested her head on my arm, her voice weak. "Ethan, don't go. Just stay for 5 minutes. Please. For the last 2 years, I haven't been able to sleep. I keep hearing you in the house, watering the plants, cooking in the kitchen, but whenever I go looking for you, you're not there." In the past, hearing her say that would have broken my heart. Now I felt nothing. When you love someone, their tears hurt you. When you don't, their tears are just a burden, something you want to escape. I gently removed her hand. "I need to get home to Leo," I said coldly. "He needs you, and I need you," she whispered, looking down like a kicked puppy. "Ethan, I can't live without you. Please, Come back to me. Chloe, if you don't stop, I'm going to get angry, I warned. Leo was born premature. He's fragile. He needs me. Then will you come see me tomorrow? Just for a minute? She begged, pulling an old coin from her wallet. You gave me this, remember? You said it was good for 3 wishes. I've only used 1. I still have 2 left. The past is the past, I said, and walked out of the room without looking back. Outside the ER, Ava was holding Leo, who was sobbing. The moment he saw me, he reached out his little arms, straining to get to me. I took him from her, patting his back. Shoo, it's okay, sweet boy. Daddy's here. He babbled a long, tearful complaint. My heart ached. I kissed his chubby cheeks. You're such a daddy's boy, I murmured. What are we going to do with you? He gets it from me, Ava said, smiling. Come on, let's go home. Wait! A voice called out from behind us. I turned. Chloe was wheeling herself towards us, and 4 still dangling from her arm, dripping onto the floor. She was struggling to hold up a yellow toy car. Leo, she said, forcing a smile. I'm your mommy. I designed this car for you. It's a present. My son's crying stopped instantly. He stared at the toy car with wide, round eyes, a look of pure fascination on his face. Come, let mommy hold you, Chloe pleaded, her tired eyes lighting up as she opened her arms, her voice cracking. Mommy's been such a fool. You're 2 years old, and I've never held you. I'll take you to preschool. I'll teach you to play soccer. I'll raise you to be a worthy heir to the Anderson family. What right do you have to hold my son? I demanded, stepping in front of Leo to block her view, my voice filled with bitterness. When he was a newborn with a raging fever, in the middle of a storm, I begged you for a ride to the hospital. Did you help us? When he needed money for the emergency room, you canceled all my cards. When I called you, did you answer? My words left her speechless. She looked down. I'm sorry, she whispered. At the time I thought, sorry doesn't fix everything. I cut in, the pain raw in my voice. I will never forget that because of your cold-hearted cruelty. My son almost had permanent brain damage. So you have no right to ask me to take you back, and you have no right to show up now and pretend you can be a mother to him. I turned and walked away, ignoring Chloe's calls behind me. She gripped the arms of her wheelchair, large tears splashing onto the yellow toy car in her lap. In a daze, she saw it again. Leo in his blue swaddle in the elevator, his tiny hand reaching out to grab her sleeve, a drop of milk falling onto her skin. She saw his big, dark eyes looking up at her, full of innocent curiosity. Her own son, her own flesh and blood, just recovered from a life-threatening fever. And what had she, the monster, done? She had violently shaken him off, spitting, "What do you want? You're disgusting." Leo couldn't understand the words, but he felt the rejection. His little face had crumpled, and he'd buried his head in my chest, sobbing. And she had walked away with Liam's son, without a word, without a second glance. She had single-handedly destroyed her son's first attempt to connect with her. Her cruelty had severed their bond before it could even form. The sound of a child's happy laughter snapped Chloe out of her reverie. She looked over and saw Ava holding the yellow toy car, making it zoom through the air for Leo. He giggled and threw himself into Ava's arms, planting a wet kiss on her cheek. Ava's face lit up. She held him securely and tossed him gently into the air. "Do you like that, Leo?" He squealed with delight, his chubby face ecstatic. "Fly. Again, fly. Okay, mommy will help you fly." "Ava, be careful with him," I said, walking over with his sippy cup. "Don't drop him. Here, sweet boy, have some of your strawberry juice." "Daddy, I'm flying," Leo yelled, flapping his arms excitedly. "Yes, you are. You're a great flyer," I said, giving him a thumbs up. Watching us, Chloe felt a pain so sharp it was like a physical blow. She pounded her fists against her head, sobbing uncontrollably. If she could only go back, she would learn how to be a mother. She would cherish him, but it was too late. I didn't even see her anymore. I only saw Ava. Her hand trembling, Chloe pulled the lily-carved wedding ring from her pocket, a desperate, wild light in her eyes. Leo was her son. They shared the same blood. If she just tried hard enough, surely he would come to accept her. And once she had her son back, she would have a chance to win me back. She would not give up. She would bring us both home, and their family would be whole again for the holidays. The day before my engagement party, I took Leo to get fitted for a tuxedo. The tailor was wonderful, finding him a tiny white suit with gold trim that perfectly matched the gold bow tie on my own suit. I was thrilled with how he looked. As I was about to pay, the door opened, and Chloe walked in. She was coughing badly. She held up a small, exquisitely made suit. "Leo," she said, her voice raspy, "Grandpa made this for you." Leo immediately hid behind my legs, peering out at her with wary eyes. Chloe's smile faltered. She softened her voice. I'm not a bad person, Leo. I'm your mommy. We met at the hospital, remember? She pulled out a remote control, and the yellow toy car she'd had before zipped out from behind her, transforming and doing tricks. What do you think, sweetie? Mommy designed it just for you. Isn't it cool? Leo peeked out from behind me, his eyes wide with longing. Then he toddled over to Ava, pulled her wallet from her purse, and held it out to Chloe. Money, he said in his little voice. Buy car. Oh, you silly little boy. It's a gift. It's free, Chloe said, her face etched with sadness. She reached out to pat his head, but Leo flinched and scrambled backward. That small movement was like a knife in Chloe's heart. She fought back tears. Don't be afraid, sweetie, she whispered. I would never hurt you. Chloe, after you showed up at the hospital, Leo cried himself to sleep, I said, pulling my son behind me. He's a sensitive kid, and you scare him. Can you please just leave us alone? I'm tired of this. Chloe, Ethan was finally starting to recover, but since you've come back, he's barely sleeping, Ava added, her face grim. I am here to take care of him and his son. They don't need anything from you. So please, stop trying. This has nothing to do with you, Chloe shot back, her eyes locked on Ava's. The signature on those divorce papers was a forgery. Legally, Ethan is still my husband. Ethan Grant's legal identity was erased. As far as the law is concerned, that man no longer exists, and neither does your marriage, Ava retorted. Now stop making a scene and leave. I took Ava's arm. Ava, you can't reason with a crazy person. Let's just go. As I pushed the door open to leave, the massive crystal chandelier directly above us came crashing down, aimed right for Leo. I yelled and threw myself over my son, shielding him with my body. In that same instant, I felt another body cover mine and heard a muffled grunt of pain. The chandelier shattered on the floor. I looked up, stunned. It was Chloe who had shielded me. Blood was streaming down her forehead. She was swaying on her feet. I'm fine, she rasped. Go check on Leo. I looked down at my son and my blood ran cold. I frantically brushed a shard of glass from the corner of his right eye. Leo, are you okay? Can you see? He was screaming, and mixed with his cries was the sound of manic laughter. Ethan Grant, why should my Noah be gone while your son gets to live? It's not fair. I'm going to make your son blind, so you can live in misery forever. Somebody call an ambulance. I yelled, clutching my wailing son. Back at the hospital, my heart was a lead weight in my chest. After emergency treatment, the bleeding in Leo's right eye wouldn't stop. They admitted him for observation. I had just started to breathe a sigh of relief when the doctor called me into his office. Mr. Cole, he said, his face grave, your son's right cornea is severely damaged. We need to perform a transplant within the next 72 hours. If we don't, the damage will spread, and we'll have to remove the eye entirely. What? The world tilted on its axis. I stormed into the other room where Chloe was being treated and started pounding on the wall next to her. Chloe, why did you have to take Liam's son? Why did you have to push him to this? My son is 2 years old. If he goes blind, what kind of life will he have? What am I supposed to do? Ethan, Liam's son's death was an accident, Chloe said, her voice low and steady as she grabbed my shoulders. Don't panic. I will find a cornea for Leo. His eye will be fine, and I've already had Liam taken care of. He will never hurt you again. How can I not panic? Leo's cornea has a rare condition. It's not like a normal child's. I sobbed, completely breaking down. Where are we going to find a match in time? Chloe, you monster. When are you going to stop destroying our lives? Ava came in, her face all business. I've already put out an alert to every medical database in the country and overseas. We're looking for a match. We'll hear something soon. The sight of her made my tears flow faster. Ava, I choked out. I hate her. I hate her for what she's done to my son. Ethan, stop, Ava said gently, then shot a glare at Chloe. Anderson, the last person he wants to see right now is you. Do you understand? If you have any decency left, get out of here and leave him alone. Chloe looked at me, sobbing quietly into my hands, and a wave of agony washed over her, so intense she could barely stand. She had wanted to connect with her son, and instead, she had brought him nothing but pain. His eye had to be saved. She would never forgive herself if it wasn't. She backed out of the room, closing the door behind her. She had made a decision. That evening, the doctor came to my room with news. They had found a donor. The surgery was scheduled for first thing in the morning. I was shocked and overjoyed. I asked about the donor. Mr. Cole, it's hospital policy to maintain donor anonymity, the doctor said gently. Please don't ask me to break the rules. Just focus on getting your son ready. Okay, thank you, I said. I rushed back to the room to tell Ava the good news. She was quiet for a long time. Ethan, she finally said, there's something you should know. The donor, it's Chloe. She went to the ophthalmology department this morning and had a full workup. She's a perfect match. But cornea donations are almost always from deceased donors. If a living person donates, they go blind in that eye. What? The smile froze on my face. Is she insane? I'm not insane, Ethan. I know exactly what I'm doing. Chloe's voice came from the hallway. She was standing outside the door. Our son, since the day he was born, I have failed him as a mother. I want to do this one thing for him. I stared at her, my voice wooden. Chloe, even if you do this, I'm still going to marry Ava. I am not getting back together with you. Are you still willing to do it? If you go blind, people will treat you differently for the rest of your life. I'm willing, she said, her gaze unwavering. I would do anything for you and for our son. I would go blind for him. I would die for him. But I'm not. Leo is my son. He has nothing to do with the Anderson family. And no matter what you do, I will never let him call you his mother. A look of anguish crossed her face. You can't be so cruel, she whispered. You can't take away my right to be his mother. Leo's mother is Ava, I said sharply. If you disagree, you can take me to court for custody. Chloe's face went pale with fury, but she said nothing more and stormed away. Daddy, hold, Leo murmured from his hospital bed, holding his little arms out to me. I hugged him close, kissing his cheek. Don't you worry, my sweet boy. We're going to find the perfect match for you, and you'll be able to see just fine. And we did. 56 hours later, another donor was found. The surgery was a success. Chloe tried to come to the hospital, but Ava's security team wouldn't let her near the building. During Leo's recovery, a steady stream of expensive toy cars arrived from Chloe. I sent every single one of them back. On New Year's Eve, Leo was cleared to go home. That same night, Ava and I held our engagement party. In the car on the way to the venue, I straightened my tuxedo and looked out the window. Every streetlight in the city was adorned with baskets of blooming lilies, their fragrance filling the night air. I was smiling at the sight when Leo pointed excitedly. Daddy, flowers. Those are your daddy's favorite flowers. Sweetie, Ava said. Mommy had them flown in all the way from France. I looked at Ava, a smile playing on my lips. You know, in some cultures, lilies symbolize a long, happy marriage and many children. She blushed under my gaze. Don't go making things up. They symbolize a long and happy marriage, period. Nothing about many children. I took her hand and placed it on her stomach. The seeds have already been planted, I murmured, my smile widening. She swatted my hand away, her face a mixture of embarrassment and annoyance. The child is right here. Can you behave yourself? One more comment like that and I'm giving you the silent treatment. All right, I'll stop, I laughed. Ava laced her fingers through mine. In 2 hours, you'll officially be my fiancé, she said softly. It feels like a dream. I leaned over and kissed her cheek. How about now? Feel real yet? Before she could answer, her eyes widened in terror. She yanked the steering wheel hard to the side. That SUV, it's in our lane. It's coming right for us. I looked up and my blood ran cold. The man behind the wheel was Liam Carter. I thought Chloe had him locked away. How was he here? Before I could process it, he slammed his foot on the gas, his eyes burning with pure hatred. Ethan Grant, he screamed through the windshield. You don't get to be happy. You and your perfect little family are going to die with my son. The world exploded in a deafening crash. I was thrown forward, but a slender body shielded me from the impact. Outside, I could hear the blare of car horns and the shouts of pedestrians. Oh my God, look at that Maybach. The front is completely crushed. The driver's bleeding everywhere. The guy in the SUV, he's in 2 pieces. It's horrific. My heart stopped. I scrambled out of the car. It wasn't our car that had been hit. It was Chloe's. She had swerved in front of us at the last second. Her car was mangled, smashed into Liam's SUV. My mind went blank. I ran to her car and tried to pull her from the driver's seat. Chloe, you can't die. Stay with me. Hold on. She looked at me, her eyes unfocused. Leo's eye. Is it okay? She whispered. Are you okay? We're fine. We're all fine, I yelled. Don't close your eyes. We're getting you to a hospital. Chloe was rushed into surgery. It wasn't long before the doctor came out, his face grim. Her injuries are too severe. We've done everything we can. Who is Ethan Grant? She's asking for you. I said, my voice numb. I followed him into the operating room. Chloe was lying on the table, hooked up to a dozen machines, but she was already gone. They had cleaned the blood from her face. In her hand, she was clutching an old coin. My voice was thick with a grief I didn't understand. "Chloe, I'm here. What is it?" She struggled to open her eyes. She held out the lily-carved ring. "You promised me," she whispered, her voice barely audible. "3 wishes. I used 1. Do I still have 2 left? What do you want, Chloe?" "Ethan, wear this ring," she begged, her eyes pleading. "Just for a minute, please. Just this once." I said nothing. A look of profound disappointment crossed her face. She let the ring fall. Then, "Can you call me by my old nickname?" she whispered, her breath hitching. "Just once, please." I looked down at her, my throat tight. "Thank you," I managed to say, "for saving us. But, I'm sorry." Her arm fell to her side. The monitor flatlined. Her eyes were still wide open. I gently closed them. "Chloe," I whispered, my voice breaking, "I hope we never meet again, and I hope, wherever you go next, you never forget the ones you love." Our engagement party was postponed. All of Miami's high society attended Chloe's funeral. I didn't go. Ava went in my place. She came back with a large box from Mr. Anderson and a thick envelope from Chloe's lawyer. Chloe had left all of her shares in Anderson Corp to me and Leo. I opened the box. Inside was the transforming toy car and the holographic AI machine. I ran my hand over them, and I saw her again, standing outside the club on my birthday, her face full of a desperate, hopeful smile. "Ethan, it's your birthday present. Do you like it, sweetie? Isn't this car mommy designed for you cool?" Then, the image shifted to her on her deathbed, her eyes pleading. "Ethan, can you call me by my old nickname?" A lump formed in my throat. I closed the box. "Please ask a good cardiologist to check in on her father," I told Ava. "And, let's send Leo to visit him for a while." "I will," Ava said. "Chloe's last wish was to be buried next to your mother. Is that okay?" "Yes," I said, looking out at the New Year's Eve fireworks. "That's fine." My mother had always been so fond of her. The seasons turned. A year passed. On New Year's Eve, Ava and I were married. Just before the ceremony, I saw Leo scribbling on a piece of paper. "What are you drawing, buddy?" I asked. "A dream I had," he said, holding it up. "See? It's a big cliff. And that person at the back of the line is talking to an old man." My breath caught in my throat. I took the drawing. It was the exact scene Chloe had described from her dream. The woman, making a deal with the old man, being thrown back across the chasm, a halo of light around her head. It wasn't a lie. It was real. "Daddy, why are you crying?" Leo asked. I quickly wiped my eyes and folded the drawing. "It's nothing, sweet boy. It's time for us to go." The music started, and I watched Ava walk down the aisle towards me, beautiful in her white dress. As I took the ring to place it on her finger, a large, black butterfly fluttered into the room. My eyes followed it as it danced through the air. It landed for a moment on Leo's cheek, then flew over and settled on my left ring finger, right where Ava was about to place the wedding band. I stared at the butterfly, and a memory flashed through my mind. The last day of our freshman year of high school. Chloe and I were on the roof watching the sunset. I gave her an old coin. "My mom gave me this," I'd said. "She told me it was good for 3 wishes. What do you want to wish for?" She had blown on the coin and grinned. "My first wish is that my Ethan gets into his dream college, stays handsome forever, and is always safe and sound." "Hey, be serious," I'd said, giving her a playful punch. "My mom said this coin is special. It really works." Chloe had stopped smiling then, her expression serious. "I wish my Ethan gets into his dream college." "And the second wish?" I'd asked. She had tucked the coin carefully into her wallet. "I'm saving it. I'll tell you when I figure it out." The memory faded, replaced by the image of her on her deathbed, holding that same coin, her eyes full of a desperate, final hope. "Ethan, can you call me by my old nickname? Just once, please." I looked at the butterfly on my finger. "Chloe," I whispered, so softly only I could hear. "I'm going to be happy. You can rest now." As I finished speaking, the butterfly lifted its wings and flew away, disappearing into the bright sky. I slid the ring onto Ava's finger. "To my wife," I said, smiling. "I'm so happy I finally married you," she whispered, her arms around my waist. "Should we give Leo a little sister?" I laughed. "Yes,